Hello there, my name's Mark and these are my Dice Tales, and today I've been playing Hardwired, a cyberpunk espionage game of mayhem, and it's by Patrick Todoroff. I hope I pronounced your name correctly there. I've had about my 3 games today just to learn the rules, and I've adjusted it a little bit. So the last 2 weeks I've moved down. This is a 28mm game, but it does say you can go down to 15mm. Obviously, I mean, I've seen people play 6mm as well. Am I tempted by that yet? Not yet. 15's good for me. But I had no 50mm terrain. I'd recently moved to 15mm Flat Sword and Sorcery with Burning Sands. So I wanted that sort of Tatooine-esque building that I might be able to use the buildings for both games. So I ended up with a kind of Firefly-esque, Mandalorian-esque, Tatooine-esque board. Sci-fi elements, dusty, deserty. This is where my... It's not shiny and chrome exactly, but it you know, you can be that heist kind of feeling to it. So this is a game of cyberpunk espionage. So kind of Firefly fits a little bit. You end up with, there are 5 classes in the game for your heroes, and you often have 4 agents, and those go from the melee specialist, the Razor, the Ronin, who is the ranged shooting specialist, the Splicer, who is your hacker, who can hack terminals, droids and robots and things, and the Sawbones, who is your doctor, general healing and support, giving his actions to other people, and the Shiver, who is your psychic, a bit like River Song. They can sort of react in the enemy's turn and such like that. So there's more to it than that, but basically they have a role to play. They're going to be a melee guy, your shooting guy, your hacking guy, your healing guy, or your weird guy. On top of the special skills, they've got cybernetics, which they can call upon. You know, you can call magic spells, so that'll increase their armor rolls, increase their attack rolls, give your action to someone else, heal someone, activate Overwatch perhaps, and various other things like that. I won't go into too much detail. You should see a few in the game that we're going to play. And on top of that, you've also got equipment. There's not that much equipment in here. It's basically grenades. Your melee guy probably going to have a monofilament weapon, which means it will reduce the target's defense in melee attacks. There's smart ammo. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't really give everyone smart ammo, other than campaign restrictions. Smart ammo is going to give you +1 to your ranged attack rolls and -1 to their defense rolls. Smoke grenades, EMP grenades, stun grenades, drugs, which will change the dice, making roll 3d8, but then having fatigue next turn, and electronic rigs that will boost certain attacks against certain things. You know, there's bits and bobs of generic sci-fi stuff. The weapons themselves, it doesn't go into differentiation between your weapons, so whether you've got a pistol, a shotgun, or a submachine gun. It's just assumed that everyone can shoot, and they can generally shoot 18 inches. Because I'm playing it in 15mm, I've changed my inches to centimetres, so it recommends a 36 by 36 board. I've just had an answer on a Facebook forum about that, because there's an image in here which seems to say that it's maybe a 3 by 4 foot table. That would make sense, because I felt a little bit crowded, and we'll see that in the game itself. I've pre-recorded the game, I'm redoing my intro. But I played on 36 by 36 centimetres in on my little micro terrain. I'm really loving it. It's so cute. Right, what else do you need to know? So it's very much, the enemies are coming at you in waves. So on turn 1 there's going to be some basic enemies coming on, and turn 2 there's got turn 1 and 2 the basic enemies, turn 3 and 4 the slightly harder enemies, and turn 5 and 6 the boss cyborg mutant enemies. And what those waves means depends on the dice that those enemies are going to use to attack you and how many actions they have. The box standard enemies have 1 action and only roll d6s. Everything you need to do in the game, you just need to roll 4+. After modifiers, if you've got 4+ on your dice, you've hit. Simple as that. That's all you need to remember. The second wave of enemies, they use d8s, so they have 2 actions, so they can move and shoot, shoot and shoot, stab and stab. And then final wave of enemies that would be using D10s. Hopefully your mission is complete and you're just trying to get out of there by the time they arrive. What else do we need to know? Heroes work in a similar fashion in that a hero has 4 wounds. All the grunts just have 1 wound, even the big guys. But, you know, obviously a D10 is going to keep them alive much more often, and especially if they're in cover as well. There are a few modifiers for that. So where they might need a D6, they might need a 6+ to survive. A D10 still needs 6+ to survive, but obviously he's got more scope on his dice of achieving that. Heroes work in a similar fashion, but heroes have 4 wounds, and that's represented by having a 10, an 8, and a 6-sided dice, and then a free move. So every time you take a wound, you're going to remove the highest value dice from your pool. And on your turn, you can have your 3 actions and a free move, and you decide. It depends on how important that action is to you. So if it's a very important action, you'll want to roll your D10. If it's maybe a minor action, it might give you a boost, but you don't need it. You might roll your D6. Otherwise, you might just be, I missed with my main shot. I'm gonna have to try with the next shot, and waste your entire go just having 3 shots and not getting anywhere because you don't roll over 4 with any of them. That does happen. We'll see that happen. I'm sure we will. It's exciting. It's simple. I'm sure you're going to want to sort of house rule for some things. It doesn't go into detail, like if you're in close combat, can you whip out your gun and shoot someone else? Can you disengage from combat, or are you stuck there until you've killed your enemy? I think it's down to you, narratively, how you're going to call your game. And I think that can change on game to game, depending on who you're fighting, what you're playing, and what your story is. So my first story, I don't know if I go into it in the overview, just in case. I've got a table set up, and I'm saying that there's a very important engineer. He's coming to inspect this space station's very vital components. We've planned an ambush to catch him, take out his security guards, disable his security camera, get him on our ship and get out of there. That was the plan. But the rival gangs are aware of this guy being here as well, and they're aware if they get him, they can sell him for a big price. We probably need him for a much more noble cause. I'm not going to go too much into my story at the moment, but we want to nab the security guard before the rival gang does, and then before any corporate tech come and try and ruin our plans as well. So that is it. So let's roll the game and see you on the other side. Okay, you can pretty much see the entire board here. Let's get the turn counter back to turn 1. Right, so what is going on the board? I'm coming on this edge here. This grey box, so the yellow sands that you see me playing on, that's a 2-foot space, and this square, so these cubes to this corner, following up this gate, and then following that back edge where this tunnel starts, that is my playing area. That's 36 by 36 centimetres. This is all mostly homemade terrain with just a few Necromunda bits and consoles. The rest is pretty much scratch built from foam core and recycling bits. Right, we have these red tokens. They are the enemy spawn points. This gold token is the exit. Now I'm going to say this is some sort of tunneling system, train tunnel. I'm going to capture this VIP. After disabling his 2 security guards, 2 red shirts, I'm going to catch this VIP. So long as I'm within 3 centimetres of him, I can move him. And I need to get him to this console here. And I'm going to say I'm going to need to hack the console to open it to be able to get him off. So I'm going to need to get him next to it and then get him off. So I've got Zoe is my hacker, splicer is in this game. Next to her I've got Mal, who is my razor, who's my melee combat specialist. Over here I've got Jane in the yellow shirt with the sort of shotgun, and he's my Ronin, my shooting specialist. And finally my 4th agent is Simon, Sawbones, the Doctor. He's a support agent. So I've got 4 different agent types: a melee, a hacker, a doctor, and a shooter. And I said I was going to start with some extra troops on the board, so I'm going to give me an idea of where they're going to start. So it's either going to spawn at 1, 2, 3, or 4. 2. Now I don't want to go too wild. I'm just going to have 1 extra security. I don't want to I want to see how this goes. So that's number 2, and I'm going to start within 4 inches of it. And 2 again. So 2 people, so 2 security guards are probably doing a patrol of this area. So how this game works, turn 1, I'm going to activate all my agents first, and then the enemy are going to go act. So in this case, the enemy are the security guards and the 2 D6 gangers, rival gang, on the board. At the end of that phase, so it's my phase, the enemy's phase, and then there's going to be a spawn phase where I'm going to roll the D4 twice and spawn 2 more of the gangers on one of those 4 points. On turn 3, I will then escalate to the next threat level, where I'll start having these cyber ninjas appearing on the board instead of the gangers. And then turn 5 and 6 will be a third. I'm going to have these mutant security, I'm going to call them. They're just alien guards from CP models, I think. These Star Trek are from CP models as well. So that's all the models mentioned. The board mostly scratch built after a couple of evenings of work for the last 2 weeks. Let's get at it. So turn 1, I can activate my guys in any order. If you're playing multiplayer, you can obviously assign one of these units to any of your friends. So I'm playing solo, so I'm controlling all of them. How an activation looks. So basically you have 3 actions, and you'll have 1 action where you can roll a d10, 1 action where you can roll a d8, and 1 action where you can roll a d6. So obviously d10 is best, then 8, then 6. And also you have a free 4-inch move. The movement is worded slightly weirdly. Instead of saying you can move 5 inches, you'd move 4 inches, but then move your character to the end of the tape measure. So rather than going up to 4 inches and placing yourself within it, you actually go to the end of 4 inches, giving yourself, I think they call it the gentleman's inch. So for simplicity's term, I'm just going to call it 5 inches. And let's see. So on a turn, so if I wanted to move, depending on how important to me movement would be, I would choose one of these dice, and basically I have to roll over 4 to have a success. So say I wanted to move Mal, and I thought, well, it's not that important, it can actually see people here and shoot. So maybe if I want to get a bit closer for next turn. So I want to roll 4+, I'm going to use my d6. I just rolled it, so a success, I could move Mal there. So that was lucky. That's on the sorts of 50-50 dice, and then the odds improve as you go to an 8-sided dice and a 10-sided dice, but I don't know what the statistic is exactly. If I was a specialist at that type of action, so say moving, so the Doctor and the Splicer, they are specialists at movement, then I would roll 2 dice, and I just need one of them to be over 4. So let's say Zoe was moving, same location, there we go, one of my dice was over 4, if both of them over 4 it doesn't matter, just need one of them over 4. I think that is about it. So Mal will get 2 dice when he's doing melee combat, Zoe will get 2 dice when she's doing hacking and moving, the Doctor will get 2 dice when he's doing support, cybernetics and moving, and Jane will get 2 dice when using combat cybernetics and shooting. I think that's all I need to explain. So let's get to it. I'm just going to roll. Now I keep picking up 2 dice and throwing 2 dice when I'm not meant to, so I do apologise if you see me doing that. I'm going to try and stop myself. Rightio, so who we got? So we want to really take out these guards. So I'm saying that these are activated and we can't pass through them, potentially climb over and go round, but they are there as obstacles for my hacker to try and do something with. The hacker can hack anywhere on the board. They don't have a bubble, say like Infinity, where they can control things within a certain range of them, or their robots. I've not gone for a robot because I don't have a model for it yet of this scale. And that's about it. Yeah, so who's going to go first? Mal. Right, no. Number 1, I'm going to get my hacker to turn off this field, because that'll give Jane a clear sight at this security guard. So my hacker's going to go first, and they have to do all their actions, so it's got 3 actions, 1 for each dice type. Let's put them in order of difficulty. I'm going to try and roll here. I left myself enough space on the map for that. So Zoe, she's going to use hack into the network. I think it's fairly important that we get this gate down so my other two crew can meet up. So I'm going to roll a d10. Now I am a specialist at cybersecurity, so got 2d10, I need to roll 4+. Should be easy, yes. So I'm going to disable this gate. Power it down. So that's one action. I've used one action. So now I've got 2 actions left and a free move. A free move is always 4 inches. As I say, sort of 5 because you get that gentleman's inch. And I'm using centimetres for this game. That's 36 centimetres from here to here. And yeah. So I'm going to try. Yes, I'm going to do a move. I'm not too bothered about him moving ahead because I can always use Mal if not. So I'm going to use the d6 for this. However, hackers are specialist at movement. So 2d6. And there we go, an unlucky roll, snake eyes. So I failed to move, so a bit like Dragon Rampant in that I choose an action, I roll to see if it happens. So I can either use my d8 to move or I can use my d8 for something else. I'm just going to get down. I'm going to take a lucky pot shot across here. So I'm going to get cover because there's intervening terrain. So that'll give them a slight defense bonus, but I'm just going to use my generic weapon. Now they don't name weapons in this one, but they do name weapons in the expansion, so you get shotguns and things, but in this everyone's carrying a weapon. All the weapons are sort of 18 inches. 18 inches, 18 centimetres in this case. So I'm not a specialist, so I'm only going to roll 1d8 and I want 4+. I've got it. So I've shot across these barrels and hit this security woman guarding the VIP. So the VIP, they just use d6s and they need a 4+, but because of the intervening cover, it's only a barrel, so I'm going to say it's light cover. They're going to get +1 to dodge. I should have also mentioned that cover should have given me +2 to hit, but I think I rolled a 6. -2 to 6, so instead I needed 4, I would have needed 6, which I think I did roll a 6. So this is giving the security specialist +1 dodge, so instead of needing a 4, she's going to need a 3. And she got a 4 anyway, so she dodged out the way of my bullets, and that is Zoe's activations. Let's see if we can speed things up as we go through other people's activations. So, seeing that shooting over the cover wasn't that great, I'm going to go for Mal next. I'm going to move him up. I want to try and get him to there so he can move. Oh, I missed my my free movement from Zoe, but it's not too... This is a fairly important move, so I'm going to roll 1d8 and I need 4+. 6+, I got it. I don't know how much I knocked that then. So he's going to get to the edge, hopefully giving him cover, but not my enemy. I'm then going to use d6, because I'm a combat character. I've got a cybernetic augmentation called targeting. So I'm going to use a 4+ to activate that. I failed to activate it, so now I've got my last action, which is my shooting action. Oh, I could have 2d6 on that because it was a combat one. Still failed it, 3 off the table there. And now I'm just going to shoot. One other thing I failed to mention. So as well as having a class which has these programs and augmentations which you can use, there's also equipment that you can use. So most of my characters have smart ammo giving me +1 to hit, so I need 3+ to shoot him, and 2 dice because I'm a combat specialist. Sorry, I'm a melee specialist with Mal, so 1 dice, but 3+. I've hit him because of the smart ammo giving me +1. The smart ammo also gives him -1 in defense, so he's going to need a 5+ to defend this. And he gets a 6+, he dodges it. So that was his last action. Is that how I did it? I think we did. So we did a move, we tried to turn on the targeting system, and we shot. Move, targeting system, shot. That's 3 actions. Right, Jane. Let's have a look. Does Jane have clear line of sight? I think Jane does have clear line of sight. Actually, she's covered. I'm going to give her light cover from these canisters. So Jane, again, he's going to turn on his targeting system. So because he's a targeting cybernetic specialist, he's going to use 2 dice and he's 4+. He's got a 4, so that's turned on his targeting specialist, and that gives him an extra +1. So with the smart ammo and a targeting, he now needs 2+. You know what? I can get 2+ on a D8. I'm going to use my D8 to do this. Bang. 2+, so I've got it. And a 7 as well. That leaves me with just a D10 left, so I've shot her. What did I say I was going to give her? +1. Now my ammo and my targeting give them -2, so that would have been a 6 +1, so back to 5 plus save. They are doing well today, so I've brought on extra enemies, and my generic enemies are rolling hot. Right, so I'm going to do that shot again. Both the smart ammo and the targeting are still in effect. They both give me +1, so 4 + 3. They both are hit. It's only one success, and again she's going to need 5+. Oh my god! Wow, these are well-trained security guards. These are not the red shirts we're used to. So Jane has spent his turn turning an activation system and taking 2 shots, and then we're down to the final person, which is the doctor. Right, the doctor's going to try and get up close. So he's got a program called... It's not juiced, it's something argumented so he can move further. So I'm going to try and turn that on. So he's going to roll 2 dice. And I'm choosing a D6, so I've activated that. So that means he gets an extra 4 inches on his movement. So I'm now going to do a move. I'm going to get up close and personal. I'm going to try and run all the way up to them. So, I'm going to use the D8s for this. Plenty. So I've got a movement of 10 and then an extra 4, so I think I can actually do 14, which gets me just shy. Argumented running, turns on his running legs, his motor servos. I don't think it matters if I'm just short there. So I've activated, I've moved, and I've got a shot. I am going to use the last one to turn on Overwatch. Only the support model has this Overwatch, so... And I failed. 2 and a 1. So that's my final action wasted, as I spent all my time running, obviously out of breath when I get to the end destination. So now it's my opponent's turn. In my prior 2 games, I took out the security guards without any issue. Now they're only D6s, but let's see how this goes. I don't have any Overwatches. I'm going to say I'm in cover because he can't see my feet, and he should be in cover behind that. I don't know if I'm not that. Right, security guard 1. Need 4+ on a D6, assuming. 6. No such thing as criticals in this game. He has hit me. I'm behind light cover, so I'm going to roll a D6 in defense. Now he does have combat specialists to increase his defense, but I've spent all the actions, I didn't turn anything on. I thought I was going to gun them down. So what do I need? I need 4+. I'm going to need 3+ because I'm behind cover. 5+, so I shrug it off as well. So if he can shrug it off, I can shrug it off. I like that. And this one is going to shoot the doctor. He's hit successfully. Do I have light cover there? Because light cover actually gives you -2 attack. Obstructions give you -2 attack. So that would mean I need 6s to hit me. Because I was next to the cover, I'm going to give him a cut. I think he's missed. I think he needs a 6 to hit me. And because they're D6s, they only get 1 dice, 1 action, so they can't move and shoot. It's literally just shoot. It does talk about modifying them to maybe give them a free move as well. I might go into that in future games, but for now, let's just give D6s 1 action. Right, and because I wanted to up the difficulty, I've given myself even more trouble by putting some security guys on the board. So I don't think he can see me, so they're going to have to move, and they're not in range anyway. So I'm going to try and move this ganger, and they're going to come round this side. 4+ is what he needed, so he's moved. So it looks like he's coming across to here. Obviously he's going to need to climb down that, so that's a bit steep. If I go around, maybe we don't need to climb the other one. Again, 3+. He's a little bit stunned, he doesn't know what to do, he's not activating this turn. And then finally, so we've had the hero phase, we've had the security phase, and they call it HSEC, hostile security. And now I'm going to roll for bringing on more goons. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We rolled 4, so 2 gangers are going to come on, and they get 4-inch move, 4 centimetre move. If I say inch, I mean centimetres most of the time. I reckon they can both get a little bit of cover. Let's just see. He's probably a little bit far out, so one's grabbing the cover from this wall, and one's just a little bit further behind. And we do this twice. 3, so over there. So these are coming on, and these are behind the security fence, so they're going to get -2s. Oops, that's a cyber ninja. All the grunts have crazy hairs, purples and blues. That's very cybery. So turn 1, not great for me. So I have increased the difficulty quite a lot. Alright. Next job. I like the idea of force fields, maybe even quadranting the game a little bit, so I can literally turn things on and off and shut down some enemies. That'll be for future games. I'll just keep it relatively straightforward. Okay, so it's my turn again, so let's go into turn 2. But we need to focus on the main guys here, so I'm going to use my free movement. I'm going to get into base to base here. I don't think he's any kind of combat specialist, so I'm going to use a D10 action. So I've got my 3 actions, I'm going to use my D10 to try and whack this security specialist out. And it's a 1, so that's my D10 gone. Let's try my D8. 7, we've hit. Right, so their defense. Shrug it off. I don't think these are human guards. These are not human guards. They are shrugging off my advances here. And then finally my D6 attack. I've got nothing else to waste this on, other than dodging. So I'm going to get shot at from several people now. He has... shift the defense dice up, so instead of using a D6, so I'm going to activate Adrenal Boost. This was the same power that made me run, and I've got it. So I've got an Adrenal Boost. I'm going to use a marker to show that I've got an ability on him, so that means instead of using a D6 for defense, I'm going to be using a D8 next turn. Right, next, who's going to go next? There's nothing about shooting into combat. I don't know how I feel about shooting into combat. Crazy D6s. I want rules for explosives as well, and shoot things and grenade things. What? I've got blocks line of sight. Right, Mal is gonna go. I'm gonna need smoke tokens. Here we go. I'm going to attempt to block these two's line of sight. So I'm going to throw a smoke grenade just there. I think this is a fairly important roll. So it is... I don't think it mentions whether it's a specialist skill or not. It is shooting, but he's a melee specialist. 4, I've got it. So I'll throw a smoke grenade down. That gives me a cloud in front of them, so they're pretty much going to have to move, wasting their 1 action. So that's my D8 maneuver. My D10, I'm going to shoot. I'm going to shoot that red guard. So I use 2 dice for this. And we hit. Got 1. So having the 2 dice is a big improvement. Reminds me of advantage in D&D. Let's see if we can shrug this one off. No! Finally! We're taking one down. We've got a security guard down. And finally I have my D6. So I'm going to need to try and move up. 2. I don't move. So that is annoying. So we've done the Doctor, we've done Mal. So we've got Zoe. Zoe needs to move up, and she's going to have to do a move. She fails her move. She's going to try lucky shots across that. She's going to need 6. 6 on a d10. 6, excellent. And the person's going to need a 3 because of the cover. Normally 4, so 3 plus because of the cover, and she shrugs it off. And finally, so I've done a shot, I've done a move. I'm going to try another move. I don't think I've done a d8, so I'm going to try and move up to Mel, and I fail it. Ooh. I've increased the difficulty and my dice are rolling terribly. Right. And finally, just Mal here. So I don't think this guy's moved into 18 centimeters. Nope, just shy. So I'm going to have to move. I'm going to have to get into combat. I'm going to use a d8 to try and move up. 2. Fails it. D6 to try and move up. I'm going to take that 5. Cot. There you say it's cocked. So 10 centimeters. Probably leg it to there. Now, do I take a shot? I'm going to take a shot at that D6 drop there. So what have I used so far? That's something just to keeping in mind. I think it's my recording. Should try and keep the tokens out. Okay, that's a good shot. So got over 4. I'm going to give him cover. I'm going to give him hard cover because he's technically almost on a rooftop. And so 4, I would have been 6 or higher. I've got 8 and 9. It's smart ammo, so he's got -1, so that would take him to 5. But cover would give him 3 plus for save, and he gets it. He shrugs it off. So I've done a shot to here, and he shrugged it off. That's my 3 actions. Moved. Everyone's moved, and now it's the enemy's turn. So I'll start with the closest. The security guard's going to try and tackle the Doctor. He's wondering what's going on. Why are you still alive on turn 2? He's hit me. Now remember, my Doctor used a program to give him an adrenal surge. So he's defending on a d8, which doesn't matter, he's failed it. So I've actually taken a wound. I'll stick that on the board. I usually keep it off the board, but for filming purposes I'm going to keep them on the table. So I've taken a wound. Taking a wound means instead of having a d10, a d8 and a d6 on my next turn, that character is only going to have the 2 options, 8 and 5. If I lose another wound, it'll be that one. If I lose another wound, it'll be that one. I'll be down to just having 3 movement. If I take the final one, then I've been KO'd and I need to go to the dark web to try and hire some new recruits. So that D6 is shot. I don't think the VIP is a combat specialist. So we've got these 2 here. They are behind the cloud, so they're going to have to walk into the cloud because they can't see through it. So let's move the first one. Fails to move, bit stunned by the cloud. And the one behind him, that was 1 off the camera, so he doesn't move either. They're just stunned by the cloud, waiting for it to dissipate. And I do wonder, does it say how long it takes to dissipate? I think it's going to be a turn thing. 2 turns, so that's turn 1. And then we've got the 2 gangers over here. That's going to be a near impossible shot, but I'll give it to them. So it's through obscuring terrain, so -2, so they're going to need 6s. First one to hit. Doesn't he just? So through the security force field, is it in 18 inches? We didn't check the range. Mal gets plinged just outside of range. So what they're going to do, they're going to turn off that shield. So the other one, as I said, one of them with glasses on. 5. Turning off that fence. So one took a lucky shot, and the other one just deactivated the field so they could actually move and get closer. This one is going to take a shot at Mal. Out in the open, so 4 plus. 3, thank you. And this one is going to try and move so he can come into the game. 5, so he should be able to get about there. Sometimes you don't need to measure, you can just go off rule of thumb to keep things moving along tidily. That is everyone, so we roll for spawning onto the table again. Number 1. Where have I got more gangers? Please say I'm not right at gangers. So this is spawn point number 1. 2 gangers coming on here. This is a very spread out deployment. Number 1 again. So a whole squad of the rival gangers come on. They don't want me capturing this VIP engineer. Turn 2. So we're going to turn 3. After turn 3 we're going to have stronger enemies coming onto the board. I'm sorry you can hear my Facebook ping in the background. Right. So that's going to stick around for this turn and then it's going to go, and we haven't made any progress. Here. Right, my wounded doctor. Could try and heal himself, he's got the nano med kits. Right, Mal. No, Mal is going to shoot into combat. I'm going to say there's no penalties because it's not mentioned in the rulebook. So I'm going to need 3+ with my smart ammo with 2 dice. So I've hit. So there you go, I've used my D10. And D6. He needs 4+, he needs 5+, so I've shot my second security guy. So that's 1 action. And that's why I'm getting mixed up when I start rolling D6s for defense. I need to get another colour D6 for my defense rolls. Okay. So I've got my D8 and my D6 left. I'm going to D6, I'm going to charge into these 2 through the smoke cloud. 5. So I've got a 10-inch movement. Easy peasy. Now I do wonder, can you fight if you're in a smoke cloud? Again, not mentioned specifically in the rules. Do let me know in the comments below if you think I can. But instead, I'm going to increase, I'm going to use a program. That was a D6 I used there to move, wasn't it? I'm going to use D8 and I'm going to use my... They have a dermal armour. Because he's fighting 2 people, I think it's going to be better to increase my defense rolls. So again, my defense would go up from a 6-sided dice to an 8-sided dice. And that activates. So I'm in combat with 2 people in smoke. Let me know what you think of that, but that's going to be a combat for next turn. Right, now the doctor. Right, the doctor needs to heal himself, so remember the doctor's only got 2 actions, D6 and D8s. So number 1, he wants to heal himself, and he's going to use his big dice for that. You get 2 dice, and he's failed it, so he's not healed himself. But I'm going to continue with the mission anyway. I'm going to move over to here. 5, so I have done my movements. It's going to be 10 centimeters. Take my wound with me. That was my adrenal boost, so that should have gone. Now I'm going to try and get this guy to move. I'm going to get him to climb over that rock. Now it just says he's a free movement action, so I'm just going to move him. And as long as he's within 3 centimeters of me, the doctor urges him to say, come on, we've got a secret escape route in the tunnel, we need to get you there before there's too many gangers. You know, their gang is worse than our gang. Right, so we've got a movement. Jane. 1, I think you're going to need to get to some hard cover behind this rock, so that's going to be important. So do a D8 move. Fails it. Do a D6 move. Fails it. D10 out in the open. He's going to get lots of shots at him. He's going to activate his dermal armor and increase his defense, and he fails it. The reactions all failed. Jane's just sort of, has he been hacked? What's going on? His dice has been hacked. Ay ay ay. Right, what can I do? Okay. Splicer, what can you do? Oh, let's just say you've got one, not three. Splicer's going to have to move up. Plenty of actions here, that's the way to do it. So looks like I can get to the edge of that. Who can we see? So we've got the fog cloud there. That's going to be too long a distance. She needs to get to this console to open that tubeway tunnel, so she's going to move again. So she's done a 6er. Let's do her 8er. 2 fails it. Let's do a 10er. 8 passed it. I do apologise. Sometimes I should probably roll 2 dice. Would my 8er have done it? I think I should have rolled 2. Yes, I would have got it. So I still got my 10er. But I think I'm going to be moving into a fog cloud, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So I'm behind Mal, so I'm not in combat. Dived into the fog cloud with him. Didn't activate. Failed to heal. Moved into combat, activated armour. Activated armour, let's give him a token to say he's activated armour. That is it. Enemy's turn. So the enemy won't shoot at the VIP, so it doesn't really matter where I put him. I'm not going to class him as obstructing terrain or anything. He's literally going to get down on his knees and do exactly as I say to try and get out of this situation with the most possible health. So these two in combat, I'm going to say they can hit me. So the first one hits me. Probably needed a 3+ because he's overcrowding me. And I'm going to save it with a D8 because of my dermal armour. So I need 3+. Pass it. The other one's going to try and hit me, and he fails it. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the dermal armour. I'm in smoke, so they can't shoot me. I don't think they've got line of sight to anyone, so they're going to move up. So 6, first one's moved up. And 3, he needed 4, so he's not moving, he's just guarding his exit. He seems to sneak a suspicion that he knows I'll be exiting through that tunnel. Jane's terrible turn, he's going to get shot to pieces now. Hopefully the D6s won't cause too much damage. So the first one, D6, out in the open, needs 4+, hits me. I didn't activate my armour, so I need a 4+ on defence. Oh, I got it! Strokes off the first one, well done Jane. Second shot, misses. Third shot, hits, defence. 4+, shrugs it off, fantastic. Up here, I'm going to go for the open, I'm going to go for Jane. Misses. Last one, I think you're a little bit far away. So I'm going to move you up. 5, passes it. Going to move onto the platform there. Right. That is all the enemies activated. The smoke cloud is going to go away, and we're going to bring on some new enemies. And this time they're going to be the next level up, the D8ers. They're going to have 2 actions, so they can move and shoot. Number 4. Uh-oh, that's right next to Mal. Let's get my 2 sword choppy guys. That is a terrible thing to happen. And to get a 4-inch move, that's about as much as they can do there. And we need another team of these. 2, 1, 2, that's far away. Hopefully they won't cause me any bother in this game. So even though the ninjas, they do have ranged weapons as well as close combat weapons, everyone's just has generic weapons to fight with. Turn 3, so this is now turn 4. We're all just focusing on the VIP. So, how am I going to do this? Right, I'm going to try and chain him. So he can, because he's within 3 inches, I can move him there. If I get another lady there, then I maybe can get him to move his second move. He says he's got 3 movements. So I'm going to try and chain that. There's nothing about disengaging from combat, but I'm just going to use my splicer. Remember I had a gate across here. Maybe worth considering. Right. So Zoe is going to use her D8 to try and do a movement and try and get around to here. So she's a specialist mover, so 2 D8s. Gets a 4+, that's what she needed. Yoink. round about to there. He needs to be within 3 centimeters of him to control him. Ah, but he's going to be moved, so that should be fine. So let's use my D8 action. So now, I don't want one of these D8s, I'm going to use a D10 because they're a threat. Where's my other D10 gone? Oh, I only have one D10 for her anyway. I'm going to take a shot at this security ninja. Fail it, so that's my D10, so I've got my D6. This VIP also has a tracking detonation collar. If he leaves his compound without authorization, his collar will blow his head off. So I'm going to try and deactivate that. I failed it. Oh dear, this is a game of bad dice rolls. Whew. Okay, Zoe's done. You know, it does say there's nothing about disengaging combat, so I'm going to take a free move and move around to fight the ninja, because I want to take out the ninja. Now I do have 2d10 here, yeah, 2d10. I'm going to take out the security ninja. Oh, there should be something for rolling doubles. There should be crits or something. So I've hit. He's going to have a d8 in defense and needs 4+. He gets it. Oh no, he doesn't. I do carry other equipment that I've picked up. Monofilament blade, -2 to their defense. So I've killed a security ninja. Fantastic. So I've used my D10, I've used my free move, so I've got my D6 and my D8 to go. And with that, I'm going to shoot. I mean, close combat, I mean, it's nice and pulpy and science fiction that I can punch and shoot someone at the same time, so I'm going to try and shoot this other ninja, because I think he's more of a threat. I'm going to use my D8 on that. I'm going to activate my cybernetic sighting 5, so that's activated. That'll give me +1 to this shot. Bang. So smart ammo +1, so I'm needing 4+, so 3 and 4, that is a hit. And the defense, he's going to need 5+ because of the smart ammo, 6+ because of the targeting system. 6, he's got it, he shrugs it off. Okay, Doctor. Doctor only has 2 actions, D8 and D6. He's going to try and heal himself. She gets this time, so he's back onto full wounds next turn. And with his D6, he's going to try and squirrel around here. So 4, he's got it. And I can get around there and be within 3 centimeters, so he can command Jeffrey here to move. So he's going to go 4 inches towards Zoe and then 4 inches because he's got 2 moves. So it's just within her command. Quick, go, go, go before the gangs get here. And then Jane, who shrugged off all the attacks without any special armor last turn. He does have grenades. He's got a frag grenade. He could throw that into this nice tidy pile here. And I think that's what he's going to do. So he's going to use a D10 to chuck his grenade at this lot here. It is 12 centimeters. 12 inches, 12 centimeters. Can he do it? Oh, yes, he can. So I'm going to get those 3. I'm not going to say I can hit all 4. Bang. So 9, I've got it. So I've thrown a frag grenade. So I've hit all 3, and then each one of them is going to make a saving throw. So Sniper Man. Oops. He saves it. The one behind fails it, and the other one behind also fails it. Bang. Take out 2 gangers with a grenade. Right. Now I've got my D8 and my D6 maneuver to do. I'm going to use a D8 to try and dash for cover. Fails it. I'm going to use a D6 to try and dash for cover. Passes it. Leg it, leg it, leg it. So at least he'll have a bit of a save. And have I done everyone? Doctor, Zoe, Mal. Yeah, Right, so that's us. That's the heroes for turn 4. Now let's see what the enemy do. This is much more exciting than my first 2 games. There's lots. Feels like a lot tenser, even though I've only taken 1 wound and healed it. There are a lot of people on the board, so I feel like I'm going to get pummeled because no one's really activated any defensive cyber tech this turn. So we've got 1 guy in combat here. Let's use the D6er. He misses. That's all a D6 can do, 1 D6. This other D6er is going to shoot at the doctor, and again misses. They must be sweating because of the security ninja behind them. The security ninja is going to try and shoot at Mal. Now he's upgraded to D8s. Misses, but he's got 2 actions. Try again, and misses. They had great dice at the start of the game, and now their tables have turned. This Ganga is going to shoot at Zoe. That's a D6 Ganga. Misses. How the tables turn? What is going on? This Ganga again going to take out Zoe. Misses. 4+. Needed 3. Okay, is Jane going to fare any better? Because he's got this whole slew of people. This Ganga with hard cover. You can see him ahead, but headshots don't count. Misses. Again, I reckon we've got a bead of sight behind this. There's a gap. 6. We've got a hit. Right. Saying this is heavy cover, so he needed 6 minus 2 to his attack, so he needed 6 anyway. Plus 2 to dodge, so 4. 2 plus on a d4. Yes, he shrugs it off. Now, are they in range, these other ones? They are 18 inches. Yes, yes, and they're miles away. Okay. So the ninjas are going to be moving, but I've got these 2 to shoot. Heavy cover, d6. 6 needed, hits. 2+, saves. 6 needed, misses. Now the gang of ninjas on the far side. Which way are they going to go? Might sling across here. 1. First one fails, and he fails his second move. 2 actions for the ninjas because they're D8s. First one passes his first move and passes his second. So he's going to get 10-inch move. So he knows that we're going to need to activate this console. So he's going to come and try and guard it. Turn 4. And we're going to roll to bring on some more security ninjas. Number 4, this must be where the security ninja barracks are. And here we go, 2 more ninjas there. And number 2, that's fairly safe for us. Do I have another ninja? I need to kill some ninjas. Where's my box of ninjas? So they've been consistent in coming out of those 2 spawn points. Righty-o, turn 4 done. So we're going into turn 5. This means that we're on to the last threat level, but I think we're going to get him out quite easily. There's nothing really to stop him. Though I do need to deactivate his collar, and I did up my difficulty myself. I said I needed to activate this console to try and open this tube station to ferry him away. So how are we going to do that? It looks like I need to get within 3 inches, move him, so he's within that, and then get Zoe to turn him on. Choices. Let's get some light on the board as well. I think we're losing daylight. Turn 5. Mal is... It's one of those games where the narrative is yours, so having all these enemies on the board, just completing the mission will do. I don't need to get my own guys off. I guess if my own guys get caught, they'll be incarcerated and questioned and then eventually let go for this little indiscretion, which probably shouldn't be happening anyway. So they probably can't be tried for it, or they would be rescued by a wealthy benefactor. So I don't need to worry so much. Though it does bug me that that might happen. My ideal world, I'd like everyone to get off. Alright, sure. Doctor is going to move there so he can at least command him to move. That's my initial plan. So Doctor, it's very important that you move, so I'm going to use my 2d10 on your movement roll. 5, because you're an int. skimp on that. So in the very least, I can get up to here. Now I'm going to use a D8. My D8 action, so I've used my D10. Let's try and keep the order of these. So, I'm not a great shooter. I'm going to try and shoot at this guy here. I'm going to give him heavy cover for the edge of the platform. 8, I've got him. Fantastic. He uses a D8 in defense. I would have needed 6 because of heavy cover, and he's going to need a 2+ because of heavy cover. And he gets it. He shrugs it off. And now I've got my D6 action. What can I do with the D6 action? I'm going to give Zoe the chance to hack things. So this is a support where, so it's using 2 dice. And I get it, so I get a 4+, which is what I need. I'm giving that a D6 action to Zoe. Right, Zoe is going to, first of all, she's going to try and hack the collar, the tracking collar off the VIP. Fails it. That's 1 action gone. That's a spare action that she's been given. So now she has a normal 6, 10, 8. I think you need to use the same dice that the doctor gave you, so he can use a D6. Right, hack it off him again. Oh, failed it again. 2 actions left. I need 1 to hack it off and 1 to open that door. So, furiously typing into a personal console. I'm going to use the D8 on the collar. 5. The collar comes off, so they can no longer track him. We've scrambled that. I need to open this gate, otherwise I'm going to be facing a lot of gunfire in turn 6. 4, we've got it. So I'm not putting any security levels on there. You could have increased the difficulty if I wanted to, but I think I've already increased the difficulty in a number of ways. So that is that. So I didn't get to move around. I think now, just for cinematics, I can probably get him to there, but not far enough away to command him again. So I'm going to need Jane to jump over here, get to here, and push him through that door. So she's hacked the collar off and opened the doorway, but I can't quite get him into the hatch. So I'm going to be heroic with Jane. I'm going to use his D8 movement, so he's only 1 D8. 7, he passes it. So his first couple of inches, he's going to climb across there. Don't forget his free movement as well. Going to go to there. And I'm going to use another movement. I'm going to use my D10 on this. 8, I've got it again, so I've got another 4 inches of movement. This is perfectly what I want. I'm sort of chaining my movements to this guy. That'll do. And then I've got, was that my D8? Now I've got my D6. I'm going to try and shoot. I'm going to give that an open shot because there's not much of that corner there. Shooting specialist. I've hit him. His D8. 4+. Minus. I give him a little bit of cover. I'll say he shrugs it off. Right, then we've got Mal left and him. He's going to be moved 3 inches and then moved 3 inches again. So he's got into, I'm going to call that mission. I've got him out of the zone without needing to go into turn 6. That was quite rough. As you can see, there's a huge number of enemies on the board. So I made the game more difficult by adding in the security barriers at the start, which needed to be hacked open, basically taking away one of my shooting actions. So where I took out these guys fairly quickly, I actually dwindled my orders by using an order to take away a gate which was obscuring me. I let the enemy open this gate, so that wasn't much of a hindrance. Smoke saved me here, but we all had really bad rolls. Cool. I like the narrative. I could see that sort of happening. So we had the mission. We wanted to try and rescue him. We'd done it before because I had played the mission before, and we said, okay, this is going to go down like a piece of cake. There's only one security patrol which started over here. That was the new inconvenient trouble. Things went wrong straight from the start, where we couldn't take out the security guys. And as the board got flooded with the rival gang and then the corporate ninjas, oof. I like that I had to chain because you can only move him if you're within 3 inches, so having a chain of 3 people, that's what I was going for there. Was it necessary? I don't know. I think it's your interpretation of the rules. I quite enjoyed that, and I would be happy to sort of add my own narrative spins on future missions. So that was cool. So I'll see you in a moment as I go to a face-to-face chat again. Hello, my name's Mark, and thank you for watching. How did you find that? Did I mess any rules up too badly? I say once or twice I think I might have not rolled 2 dice when I should have, which isn't the worst of things, and I did jazz up the first scenario by adding the extra gates, which, you know, I'm repeating myself by saying that. That was really enjoyable. I mean, 6 turns, and how long did it last? I'm going to have to check that when I go to the video editing. But that has been hardwired. I like what I see. The expansion has like a links campaign. He does talk about ideas for leveling up characters, but there's nothing that fleshed out and detailed, though I don't really have many comparisons other than, say, Rangers Shadow Deep to know about leveling systems. I do also have 5 parsecs that has just arrived from a printout from lulu.com, and that's the Salvage Crew, which again, that's very Firefly-esque. And I am rewatching Firefly at the moment. And I've got the Firefly comics on scrib.com, so that's pretty cool. And any other comics, I'm looking at Judge Dredd and Cyberpunk comics. If you can recommend a Cyberpunk type comic to me that I can get, that would be fantastic. I've played this 3 times today, the same mission, and it's sort of gone different ways each time. So obviously the dice rolls, but you have a little bit of control in that some of your characters you can roll 2 dice. One thing that does sort of scratching my brain, saying how can you encourage, say, melee combat? And when I had a little bit of a think about that, I maybe say, well, maybe you've got an objective in a place where you can't use bullets. You're in the engineer's room, you're in a spaceship, there's sound considerations to take into effect. What if you're doing a heist and you need to get in and get out, what would stop you taking certain equipment? And then, yeah, as I say, the next book, I haven't delved into the details yet. I really wanted to get the basics done. But I feel like, yeah, that was a heist. That was stealing someone. I mean, there could be more complications with, will he follow you? Do you need to roll to get him to follow you? That would make it quite hard. Maybe without adding the gates and things, you could have to roll to see if you can move him. Or the hacker maybe had to puppeteer him, would be another idea. There's lots of possibilities. I used all human enemies here. If we did get into the turn 5, I was going to bring these guys on as mutant cyborgs. So then my hacker could potentially overload them and shut them down to stop them moving, getting use of her 2d6, where most of the game she was, other than moving, she was only rolling 1d6s. I say d6s, I mean 1 of that, whatever dice type she chose for activation. I'm excited about it. I'm talking fast, so I liked it. I did. Yeah, it's got a little bit more about scenarios in it than Burning Sands does. And I think Burning Sands just had that little extra bit of a few scenarios in there. I'd be playing that more as well. This is good. I like sci-fi, I like shooting, I like hacking, I like heists. I can see me thinking more about this and coming up with new scenarios myself to play more of, looking at fantastic models I can get online to give me more inspiration. I want drones, I want robots, I want robot dogs, I want flying drones. I want to consider security cameras and going down that sort of, what's it called, Shogun? It's not Total War. Shadow Warriors, something like that. I think there was Commandos back in the 90s as well, where you sort of have that cone of vision. It really is what you make, how you build up your terrain. I think it's going to be. I'm liking this one. This one is gelling. I do want a few more rules. I would like to know, can I dodge out of combat? But maybe it's just, is it narratively? Do you think you should jump out of combat? And it might change on a game-to-game basis. Maybe it depends on the level of security guys. A blue book. I need a blue book. Blue line rules. home rules, see what works, tick it off, try it. I mean, leave messages on the forums on what you think, how you want to do it. Flickering. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I fully enjoyed it and expect maybe more of an in-depth review after I've had more games under my belt. I'll try and keep it as vanilla as possible without breaking any rules in the book, but you know, just in case they're my thoughts. Let me know, are you playing it? Let me know if you're playing in 15mm. Yeah, let me know what you're playing at the moment. Fantastic. I'll leave it at that. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching Max Dice Tales. Do like, because that does encourage me to keep going and keep vlogging like this. Do subscribe if you don't want to miss anything. YouTube talk. Goodbye. Thank you.